Hi all! This video discusses how to focus your analyzing skills on sensory perceptions in the real world beyond the written page. We'll take the same ideas we've been learning, both looking at how well something is functioning or is successful per its stated goal or purpose, as well as how to look below the surface and consider what is going on beyond what has been designed for us to experience. This includes ulterior motivations, reasons behind the way things are done, and consequences. So as you're working through this assignment, you'll first observe and take notes. Then you'll review those notes and write an objective report. Lastly, you'll look for patterns and consider underlying reasons. The assignment we're working on has two distinct phases. The first is information collection, which includes your observation and all the class readings. And then after that, you'll be writing an argumentative essay, where you pull together everything, your observation, the class readings, all your ideas, into a focused argument. Your written analysis will happen in your essay after you've completed your observation and your observation report. But it's important to be aware of what might be useful for analysis before you conduct your observation. Otherwise, if you try to capture everything in your observation report, you'd get bogged down with details. So when you observe, keep the following ideas of this video in mind about what to do and what to look for, even though your observation report will just write down factual information. Your observation report focuses on the who, what, and where of your experience. No analysis or argument. In your observation report, you will highlight areas of potential interest, even though you remain objective and withhold analysis for the time being. When you actually go to write your essay, you'll formulate an argument of the why and how behind the who, what, where. There are 5 key components of visual analysis, which include composition, people or main figures, scene, words, and tone. We'll talk about each of these individually, but also how to translate the ideas of each beyond just visual analysis, applying them to your other senses as well. It's important to consider all of the senses because a grocery store tries to manipulate all of your senses in order to get you to buy things. It makes sense because grocery stores are in the business of selling food, and they're also creating an experience for you, which includes all of the senses: sight, sound, smell, even taste. Raj Patel writes in Stuffed and Starved, "In fact, everything, including the smell of the air, the kind of lighting, the positioning of product and wall coverings, has been pored over and dissected, of course, by the people who are trying to sell you these things." He's pointing out how much attention has gone into every detail of a supermarket. Because supermarkets contain so much intentionality, it is in almost every single detail, you'll need to look carefully at all of these details and consider why they are the way they are. What is their purpose? Both stated, which is to satisfy the customer, of course, and hidden, for instance, to generate the greatest profit, regardless of the effect on consumers. So as you go on and analyze what you're seeing in the supermarket, one of the first and biggest things you're going to be focusing on is what is called composition. With composition, you're looking at how something is composed or designed, whether it be small, like one package, or larger, like a shelf, or really big, like a whole store. You're going to look at object or product placement, where things are located, especially in context to other things. For instance, what is located at the checkouts, the end caps, the bottom shelf. And this leads to focal point or perspective. What is your eye drawn to? What visuals or products are you meant to see and see most prominently? What if you were, say, a few feet shorter, like a little kid? What would your eye be drawn to then? And color and graphics come into play here too. What colors and graphics are used and how they're used can both appeal to everyone, think red makes you hungry, or to specific demographics, like green leaves for people who buy organic stuff. And then consider the layout of the store, both the whole store and by department. Consider with composition not just visuals, but other senses too. For instance, in a grocery store, the layout of warm and cold spaces, like the freezer sections, as well as the different smells and aromas you might encounter at different places in the store. from the cut flowers to the bakery to the seafood department. Building off of this idea, you'll also consider how the store is composed as a whole, the setting. You're taking a closer look at how the whole experience is orchestrated. How is it like a stage which is set for you? This includes looking at what things are displayed most prominently and what things are less visible, what you are meant to see and what you are not meant to see. For instance, what does the front of the bakery look like? And what does the actual workspace behind the counter look like? And very important, consider sensory manipulation beyond visual. What different sensations do you experience? Taste, touch, temperature, smell. What do you hear? And of course, why? Why are you experiencing all of these things in this way? What effect is it meant to have on you as a consumer? So all of these things, background versus foreground, inside versus outside, your frame of reference or your visual frame, and then of course the sensory manipulation is creating a setting experience. And that is an important part to consider with your analysis. So because you're observing a potentially very busy space, you're not just going to be thinking about the physical objects that are surrounding you, but you're also going to need to think about people, the people who populate that store, both workers as well as the consumers. This part of your observation might make you feel uncomfortable because you're going to be noticing physical qualities of different people, their gender, race, the way they dress, which might be indicative of their social class or their culture or their age. But also keep in mind that stores are very aware of these differences too, and they do their best to try to appeal to whoever their audience is. So observe who is shopping. Keep in mind it might change depending on the time of day that you're conducting your observation. What are the workers like? Where are people looking, or what are they drawn to? What's their body language? Are they relaxed, uptight, tired? How do they interact with others in the store? Consumer to consumer, employee to employee, and employee to consumer interaction. What kind of speech do you hear when people interact? Maybe you want to even write down a quote or two. How about the store itself? Like, what kind of announcements are they making over the loudspeaker? Is it canned or pre-recorded, or is somebody actually making the announcements in time? Ultimately, what you want to be thinking about with this particular element is what is all of this taking into consideration telling us about the store's audience, which is their demographics, the people who they are trying to please and sell things and, of course, make money off of. So while we're talking about demographics and how the store relates to their demographics, one of the most important things is words. So this is how products and the store itself interacts with you, using the written or the spoken word. You'll want to look at slogans, advertisements, signs, and listen to loudspeaker announcements and music. Think about what the intent behind these words are. How is the text presented? What colors or fonts are used? What is the tone? Is it excited, reassuring, blissful? What is the purpose of the text? Is it to provide information, to convince you to buy something? Consider what vibe are all of the different bits of text giving. In the case of packaging, does it change based on the product or the product's given audience, whether it's a child or someone who wants to shop naturally, or a man or an elderly person? What role does design play in conveying a message or feeling? So tone doesn't just happen with text, of course. In fact, the entire experience that you have will have a certain feel to it that is very heavily orchestrated or designed, from the overall layout to the colors of the tile to the music played over the loudspeaker. So you want to think, what kind of experience do you think you are meant to come away with as a whole? And why were you meant to have that sort of experience? So think about the mood or the feel, and it can be sensory too. Also consider ways visual or other elements convey that mood. This is very similar to the dominant impression that we learned about with our first essay.